Hello students. So today we are going to learn about what is called unscientific induction. In my previous video I have discussed about the scientific induction, and today's video will be on unscientific induction and what is the relation or difference between scientific and unscientific induction. So first of all, what is unscientific induction? If we go through the definition of unscientific induction, it is thus that unscientific induction, as it is an induction proper, so first of all, it establishes again a general real proposition. That means the conclusion of unscientific induction is general and as well as it is a real proposition. That is not a verbal one. And there is inductively, but it is based on mere uncontradicted experience. Again, I am repeating, it is based on mere uncontradicted experience. So I am repeating the definition again, that unscientific induction is an establishment of general real proposition on the basis of mere uncontradicted experience without any attempt to prove the causal connection. I am repeating again, unscientific induction is an establishment of a general real proposition based on mere uncontradicted experience without any attempt to prove the causal connection. That means, now if we analyze the definition of unscientific induction, it becomes thus, that if we make the clarification point wise, then we will get the characteristics of unscientific induction. That is, unscientific induction establishes a general real proposition. Suppose, for example, I can take this example. All roses are red. This all tells us about the universality of the proposition. That is, it is a kind of universal proposition. That is a general proposition. And it is a real proposition. Why? Because this red is not the connotation of rose. Red is something more than the connotation of the rose. So this is a real proposition. Okay. Now going on to the second point. It is based on mere uncontradicted experience. Mere uncontradicted experience. That means, to find out this conclusion, we have to, as per the rule of induction, we have to first of all observe certain cases. Okay. Suppose I am observing in this way that the roses of Silchar are red. Okay, I have observed some of the roses of Silchar which are red. The roses of Kolkata are red. Okay, in this way I can observe some of the other places, roses of other places also. And then, because as I cannot observe all the roses, so there is a gap between the premises and the conclusion, and I have come to the conclusion that all roses are red. But I have not seen any of the roses which are not red. Because if I see that there are other the roses of other colors, then there will be a contradiction. So to find out the red roses only, I have observed only the red roses. No contradictions I have seen. Or rather I can say, I will not go for any contradiction. Okay, whether I will not go for that observation that whether there are roses of other colors or not. So it is based on mere uncontradicted experience. Only the experiences will be based on my conclusion. What conclusion I want to get? I have observed that cases only. So mere uncontradicted. Okay. Now the third point is that unscientific induction never tries to attempt, never attempts for proving the causal connection. Whether there is a causal connection between roses and red, whether there is any causal connection or not, unscientific induction never tries to prove it. And that is why the conclusion will always be certain or not, that we cannot say. Only we can say that the conclusion is probable. It may be right or it may be certain, maybe not. Why? Because there are two reasons. One is only uncontradicted experience. I have experienced only uncontradicted cases, and I have never, or unscientific induction has never tried to prove the causal connection. So it may be that yes, all roses are red, or it may be that all roses are not red. Some of the roses are red and some of the roses are not red. It may be that, isn't it? So if I again jot down the characteristics of unscientific induction, it becomes like that. First of all, unscientific induction establishes the general real proposition. There is no doubt about it. Secondly, unscientific induction, or when that is in case of unscientific induction, we observe only mere uncontradicted premises, and unscientific induction never tries to prove the causal connection. And that is why the conclusion of unscientific induction is probable and not certain. Now the question may arise in our mind that why to use this unscientific induction? As we have with us scientific induction, which proves a certain conclusion, which never goes for mere uncontradicted experience. It experiences each and every type of premises. Its conclusion is certain. So why to go for this unscientific induction? So now the value of unscientific induction is that unscientific induction is the first step towards the scientific induction, because in any of our cases we never start with a perfect one, because we start with a thing, and whenever we find it to be imperfect, then we search for another method which can make our cases perfect. So unscientific induction is the first step, because in the beginning, when we started our induction, first of all we thought that yes, we have to find out the general real proposition, and then we will observe only those cases which comes under our conclusion, that is mere uncontradicted, and as a ground we will take only uniformity of nature. We will base on only uniformity of nature. But and we have seen that our conclusions are becoming certain. But after some time, we have seen that no, all the conclusion cannot be certain in this process. That means we have to observe contradicted premises also, and to make our conclusion certain, we will not only base on uniformity of nature, but also we have to depend on causal connection, so that our conclusion becomes perfect or certain. So there is a value of unscientific induction in this way, that if there were no unscientific induction, we cannot come to scientific induction. So unscientific induction is a stepping stone towards the scientific induction. Because the problems we faced in case of unscientific induction, we have solved those problems in case of scientific induction, and that's why it becomes scientific. It were unscientific because some problems were there. The conclusion is not always certain. It becomes sometimes certain and sometimes not. So the conclusion is probable. So to make our conclusion certain, we have used some more cases, some more things we used in case of scientific induction to make it scientific. So without unscientific induction, we cannot move towards scientific induction. So the value of unscientific induction lies there, that first of all we started with that, and after that we pointed out our problems and solved it in terms of scientific induction. That's why the first one is called unscientific and the second one is called scientific. But when we are studying, we can say we classify a scientific induction in terms of scientific and unscientific, but actually in our cases unscientific induction comes first, and then after solving all the problems of unscientific induction, we can move towards scientific. Okay. So now we are going to explain now where lies the similarity and dissimilarity between scientific and unscientific induction. So first of all, we will discuss about the similarities of scientific induction in this way. I have made the points here. You can see the similarities between scientific and unscientific induction. The first point is both observes particular facts. Both observes particular facts as their premises and then come to the conclusion. So in both the cases of scientific as well as unscientific induction, we find that we have to observe particular facts of experience. That means our conclusion is based on particular facts of experience. Maybe that in case of scientific induction, it may be of both contradicted and uncontradicted. Maybe that in unscientific it is only mere uncontradicted. But in both the cases, we find that there is observation of particular facts. Okay. The second point of similarity is that in both cases we will find that there is inductive leap, which is the very essence of induction, and that is why scientific and unscientific both are cases of proper induction. So we find inductive leap in both the cases. What is inductive leap? The gap between the premises and the conclusion. Because for this gap only, we use the grounds of induction. So induction is that where there is a gap between the premises and the conclusion. Why? Because after observing some of the particular cases, we will come to the conclusion as a general one. So if we observe all the cases, then there lies no significance of establishing a general proposition. So we have to observe some of the particular cases, and there must be a gap between premises and the conclusion, which is called inductive leap, and we find this inductive leap in both the kinds of induction, that is scientific and unscientific. So this is one of the second similarity between the scientific and unscientific induction. Now the third one. Both scientific and unscientific induction bases on a similar ground, that is uniformity of nature. There are two grounds. One is uniformity of nature and another is law of causation. But the similarity we find between the two is that both depends on uniformity of nature. We have seen in case of scientific induction also that the first ground is uniformity of nature, basing on which scientific induction jumps to the conclusion, and in unscientific induction also uniformity of nature is the ground with the help of which unscientific induction also jumps from the premises to the conclusion. And similarity is that unscientific or scientific induction establishes a general real proposition. This is a similarity between the two, that it establishes a general real proposition that must be a general one, conclusion must be a general one in both the cases, and the real proposition. So we find 4 similarities between scientific and unscientific, that first of all, both the kinds of induction bases on particular facts of experience, particular, not general facts, particular facts of experience, and after observing those, there is a gap between the premises and the conclusion in both the kinds of induction, which is called inductive link, which is the second similarity. Now, while jumping from the premises to the conclusion, both the kinds of induction, what it does, it based on a similar ground, that is uniformity of nature, and both the kinds of induction establishes general real proposition. Now we are coming towards the dissimilarity of between both the scientific and unscientific induction. So the dissimilarity between the scientific and unscientific induction lies in this way. See, the first point. First point is scientific induction, as it observes contradicted as well as uncontradicted cases. So it observes with the help of simple observation as well as experiment. But unscientific induction gets its premises with the help of only simple observation. Why only simple observation? Because it is based on mere uncontradicted experience. So for uncontradicted experience, we don't have to go for experiments. We can only use our simple observation, which we can see with the help of our normal sense organs. So we don't have to go for experiments, as we are observing only uncontradicted experience. But in case of scientific induction, as we are going for both contradicted as well as uncontradicted experiences, so scientific induction uses both simple observation as well as experiment. We can discuss this about this simple observation and experiment in an elaborate way in our second chapter, but here you can go for the points only, that scientific induction uses, to get its premises, simple observation as well as experiment, but unscientific induction uses only simple observation. The second point of dissimilarity is that scientific induction is grounded on uniformity of nature as well as law of causation, but unscientific induction is grounded only on uniformity of nature, and we have seen in our definition also that it never attempts to prove a causal connection. That means in case of unscientific induction, we didn't find it necessary to prove a causal connection, but when we found it necessary, it becomes scientific. And we used to use the law of causation as a ground. So unscientific induction uses, or it is grounded only on uniformity of nature, but scientific induction is grounded on both uniformity of nature and law of causation, and that is why the third similarity comes up. What is that? As scientific induction uses both uniformity of nature and law of causation, and uses simple observation and experiment for its premises, so its conclusion becomes certain. But in case of unscientific induction, as it is based on only simple observation and it is not grounded on law of causation, and that is why its conclusion becomes probable. So there is a difference between, or dissimilarities between the scientific and unscientific. That point number 1 is, it is simple scientific induction uses simple observation in experiment for getting or experiencing the particular cases, but unscientific induction uses only simple observation. Scientific induction is grounded on both uniformity of nature and law of causation so that its conclusion becomes certain. But unscientific induction is grounded on only uniformity of nature, and that's why its conclusion becomes probable. That's all for today.